Thanks for joining us today on Spin Room. Good to see you. I'm Vanessa Broussard. The border czar, Tom Homan, is at the White House today and stopped to talk to Lindell TV. Let's go straight to our Kara Castronova, who is live in Washington, D.C., with more on their discussion today. Kara, good to see you. What can you tell us?
Good to see you too, Vanessa. Yes, we got to talk to Tom Homan today. He's one of the more friendly people that I've met here in Washington, D.C., always accessible to the media and, has a lot to talk about, obviously, because they're doing really good things down there at the border. Spoke about how low the numbers are with border crossings, how they are going after the child sex trafficking, which I know is important to you, Vanessa, and to so many Americans, and other things. So I have a clip from my interview with Tom Homan. Please take a watch. Here with Tom Homan at the White House. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. First of all, everybody's talking about alligator Alcatraz, and I wanted to know what your thoughts were. Great
facility. We need the beds. I mean, this morning I looked up and we have less than 1,000 beds available, and we need beds quickly. And that's why the big, beautiful bill needs to be passed. That's going to give us money for more beds. So I think Governor DeSantis is coming to the table, putting beds on our plate really quick. We'll fill those beds quickly. It's a great facility, and what's great about the facility, it has an airstrip right there, so we're going to save money in transportation contracts. That can serve as a hub for the entire East Coast. Rather than flying people to Arizona or Texas to be deported, we can actually use Florida now, landing strip there. So it's going to, not only is the facility cost savings for us for detention, it's a cost savings for transportation. Plus, it's a great site. You know, it was already had a lot of concrete foundation there, didn't need a lot of building. And as far as people arguing that, shame must be in the Everglades, that facility's been there for decades. We're just simply housing there. So it's a great benefit for the Trump administration, a great benefit for the safety and security of America, because we're going to put the worst of the worst there and deport them from there.
And what about numbers right now? Everybody's saying there's 0 crossings. Is that true? And can you tell us a little bit more of the statistics of the border?
Yeah, the numbers came out yesterday for the month of June. There's a total of 6,070 encounters on the border. Now, that's in a month. Under Joe Biden, we had up to 15,000 a day. So we arrested a month. Well, he arrested in half a day, right? So border numbers are down right now 94%. Gotaways are down 96%. We used to deal with 1,800 gotaways on a daily basis under Joe Biden by average. Yesterday they were 18. The releases last month under Joe Biden, since he's been president, President Trump's been in office, if you compare it to last year, the Biden administration released over 200,000 illegal aliens. We released 1 for humanitarian concerns. So.
Yeah, amazing stuff there. And the interview goes on. So please go to the Lindell TV app, anyone watching, to the X account actually, to catch that full interview as we also talk about the children that were smuggled over the border. And, why do Democrats want an open border? Obviously, they think that these will be future Democrat voters. That's my opinion. So we have that discussion as well, Vanessa. And the mainstream media, there's a viral clip going on right now as we come into the 4th of July weekend with gas prices at a record low, is being forced to actually report on these things. And, they're doing it with a look of almost constipation, if that's the right word, on their face. They don't want to admit that President Trump is doing great things and that gas prices are going down. So here is a viral compilation that is making the rounds of mainstream media reporters being forced to report on the good things the president is doing.
It's pretty good news for millions of drivers expecting to hit the road for the 4th of July weekend.
It looks like gas prices are about to get cheaper.
Gas prices are currently the lowest that they've been since 2021.
They're the lowest since 2021.
Hitting a 4-year low.
This doesn't just apply locally. Trends are being seen nationwide.
Including in Michigan, where it's about 42 cents cheaper to fill up than it was this time last year. Pennsylvania, Illinois, Nevada, a number of other states seeing significant drops.
Gas prices are much lower than we have seen in recent years.
$2.68 per gallon, or more than a dozen stations in Duval and St. Johns County.
The national average could fall below $3 as early as September.
This translates to Americans spending about $500 million less on gasoline this holiday weekend versus last.
Yes, so that was the mainstream media reporting on those low gas prices, and a lot of good news coming out of Washington. Secretary McMahon of Education was making the rounds on the news talking about this huge win for women's sports thanks to President Trump. UPenn acknowledges men don't belong in women's sports or locker rooms. Titles wrongly given to men are revoked. This is utterly a triumph for President Trump, and Riley Gaines joined her as well on the news this morning as a lot of those records set by the alleged female, what was his name, Leah Thomas, broke those records and took those titles from Riley Gaines. Now they are going to be resetting those records. Please take a listen to Secretary McMahon.
An executive order on, which was that men will not be able to compete in women's sports, was acknowledged by the University of Pennsylvania. We have signed an agreement with them, and we hope that that agreement is going to be a template for other universities who acknowledge that there is no room for men in women's sports, not only during the competition, but also in the locker room and other intimate spaces where these women were required to be with males who changed in front of them. So this is a big deal. The university is apologizing. It is taking away the titles that were incorrectly given to men. It has stated that it will not have anything on its website other than the fact that they are complying, with Title IX. We are just very pleased with the outcome that we had today. It's an utter triumph for President Trump and for the administration, but mostly for the women and girls who will come behind the Riley Gaines and the Paula Scanlons and others. And they've really laid the groundwork for them to be successful. And the star of the hour really is Riley. And I know she's on for you to ask about that.
So, Vanessa, such good news for women's sports, obviously, and these poor women that really had to suffer under the Biden administration, feeling like there was no future for women's sports. Thank God President Trump and his administration have been fighting for biological women and the real feminists that believe that women should have equal rights. Speaking of that, HHS issued a policy. So this is another good policy issued by HHS and Secretary Kennedy. If you guys could pull up that press release that we received today from HHS, issuing a policy to stop the radical indoctrination of children and ensure parental oversight for teen pregnancy prevention program grants. So HHS, through the Office of the Assistant Secretary of Health, today announced the release of program policy notice for teen pregnancy prevention program, clarifying that federal funds may not be used to indoctrinate America's children with radical ideologies or other inappropriate material. Basically stuff that I'm assuming is being spread by Planned Parenthood, really pushing for these abortions. This is a great thing, I think, for parents' rights, Vanessa, and this is consistent with that Supreme Court decision that we had just this year. That was Mahmoud Taylor, that was in 2025, that is consistent with what HHS has announced today, that they will no longer use federal funds to indoctrinate children when it comes to abortion. So that's good news, again, out of Secretary Kennedy's Health and Human Services. And Trump on Truth Social today, President Trump on Truth Social, talking about our, I guess, favorite, I'm saying that sarcastically, mayoral candidate from New York that the nation has really been focused on, because a lot of people are saying, what does this mean for America when the biggest city really in the country, the Democrats have put a communist, a socialist, what they're calling a socialist. He calls himself a Democrat socialist as their nominee. And this was voted on, to be fair, by the population in New York, which says a lot about New York City. But this was President Trump's post on Truth Social, and the president had this to say: as president of the United States, I'm not going to let this communist lunatic destroy New York. Rest assured, I hold all the levers and have all the cards. I'll save New York City and make it hot and great again, just like I did with the good old USA. So that's President Trump speaking on Truth Social. Should be very important to the president. Obviously, New York, one of bigger 50 states, and his hometown not far from where I live on Long Island, about 10 minutes into Queens. So New York obviously very important to President Trump, and he did so well in those record numbers with New York City in that last election, specifically in the Bronx. So I do think that the president still has some clout in New York City to hopefully convince people that maybe Zohran Mamdani is not the person to vote for, and hopefully to go for Curtis Lee or even Eric Adams at this point, people are saying. And lastly, Vanessa, Kristi Noem was speaking about alligator Alcatraz. As you know, President Trump was there yesterday making a visit to check out that facility that Ron DeSantis built in record time. And we did a special report on that yesterday about the security that will be there, which will be alligators, crocodiles, bears, pythons, and swarms of mosquitoes. So those people in that prison, I don't think they're going to want to escape. They're probably going to want to stay there. Here is Kristi Noem on the news earlier today talking about alligator Alcatraz.
These are deranged individuals that other countries released out of their prisons, out of their mental institutions, and sent them to America to roam on our streets and perpetuate violence against our citizens. President Trump is just trying to follow through on what he promised the American people, and that's to get the worst of this worst out of this country so that they can raise their children in safety and apply the law equally to everyone, bring justice back to America, secure our border, but also get these dangerous criminals out. And I'm just so proud of him. This facility down in Florida is what I think should be the model for every single state. Go out there and help us partner to provide an opportunity to detain these individuals, to process them under due process, and get them out of our country as fast as possible. These kind of partnerships can happen everywhere. We just need governors and leaders to step up and do their jobs.
So there you have it. That was Kristi Noem today, again, talking about alligator Alcatraz and hoping, I think a lot of people in the Department of Homeland Security, that other states will follow Governor DeSantis's lead and open similar facilities, Vanessa.
Right, and Governor DeSantis said that yesterday. He said that he hopes the other red states will follow suit because you can't go wrong with a similarity to alligator Alcatraz. And if you look, Kara, at the comparison between the Obama administration and the Trump administration, you know, the left is so big right now on hammering away at alligator Alcatraz, but it has beautiful beds from what we saw yesterday, air conditioning. It's really a nice place to hold these illegals versus under the Obama administration, where we've seen pictures and actually visited the border during his administration where they're in cages in the heat. So if we go back and put our memory to the test about how it was back during the Obama days, at least they're being treated like human beings and they're not, you know, just being thrown to the streets while they're awaiting deportation.
Yes, that's correct. And President Trump reassured everybody yesterday that there is air conditioning there. It is very hot down there. So they will be treated humanely. And people, I guess, have a problem with the fact that there's alligators and crocodiles there. But, you know, that's not really a problem unless you try to escape. I'm sure that these alligators or crocodiles will not be entering the facility. And as long as, you know, you don't break the law and try to escape from prison, then you really don't have to be honest, worry about these vicious wild animals. So that's the consensus for people who are supporting alligator Alcatraz. And obviously you have liberal groups going out there saying this is cruel, this is unusual, somebody could get eaten by an alligator. Well, don't break out of prison and you'll probably be safe.
You'll be just fine. I want to hit on one more time, Kara, while you're here, going back to New York City. What a big sigh of relief for the Big Apple for President Trump to make that announcement today, saying that, you know, hold tight, sit still, be cautious, that I am here. I have all the cards. I'm not going to let anything happen to New York City. So huge sigh of relief right there when I read that come across Truth Social this morning.
It is a sigh of relief, and I have so many people texting my phone that don't even realize that I'm not in New York. I do hold residency there, but still, what could you do? Like, we need help. People are freaking out. Like, people are genuinely freaking out, Democrats and Republicans alike, as to what this means for New York City. Obviously, people kind of on the fence whether they should vote for Eric Adams because he's, I guess, a moderate Democrat, and abandoned ship for Curtis Lee, who's the Republican, or vice versa. So people are sort of torn between what they're perceiving to be. Could you imagine Eric Adams is now a moderate Democrat? I think that Mandani has really pulled the party even more to the left when you're calling somebody that let all these illegal immigrants into the city and that was okay with the vaccine mandates. And I'm talking about Eric Adams here, and who's a Green News scam supporter, now thinking he's a moderate Democrat, and a lot of Republicans saying they're going to vote for him. So the party has shifted in New York, you know, and we'll see what this means in the election in November. It should be very interesting, and leading up to that should be even more interesting, Vanessa.
And I want the people to know too, Kara, as you just mentioned, you're from there, you live there, you hold residency there, and so this is very important to you, this race is, and it's the biggest city in our nation, and so millions of people are depending on New York City to be saved. And so therefore, we're going to continue to follow that here. I know you're going to stay on top of it and let us know, and our viewers know, any new developments that come out of New York City.
I will. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for all that you do.
Thank you. Well, new this afternoon, Paramount Global has reached a $16 million settlement with President Trump over a lawsuit tied to a contentious 60 Minutes interview. The lawsuit, filed in October of last year, centered around a 60 Minutes interview with then Vice President Kamala Harris. Trump alleging that the segment was deceptive and edited to bolster her image during the presidential campaign. We'll let you take a look. Watch.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We are not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Do you see the difference? Well, under the agreement announced today, Paramount will pay $16 million allocated to Trump's legal fees and a future presidential library. The settlement does not include an apology or admission of wrongdoing. Paramount will, however, publish full interview transcripts for future 60-minute conversations with U.S. presidential candidates after they've aired, with redactions, only for legal or national security reasons. Now, in the meantime, CNN is finally admitting that America loves President Trump. We could have told you this when he rode down the golden escalators announcing his 2016 bid for president. In fact, we've been trying to tell them this for years, over 10 years now, but they're just now getting it. Take a look.
I mean, every politician would like this number here, especially to see it go up. How about compared to other presidents who were Republicans?
Yeah, it's history making. It's history making. What are we talking about here? So why don't we look back? We have all the presidents, Republican presidents, going back over the last 35, 36, 37 years. What are we talking about? GOP, who strongly approved 5 months in. Look at this. George H.W. Bush, Bush 41, 46%. Bush 43, 59. You see Trump, the first term, 53. But look at this. 63%. He beats all the other Republicans on the board here. And I was looking even back since Reagan. And get this, Donald Trump beats Ronald Reagan when it comes to the strongly approved 5 months. And of course, Reagan was coming off that high after that assassination attempt. So the bottom line is Donald Trump is making history with the Republican base. He is more beloved by this Republican base than any Republican base loved any GOP president 5 months in. It is history making.
Can you believe it? That was CNN. Now, how hard was that to admit? The truth is the truth. Glad they can finally admit to it. And Elon Musk is back posting about the president as well, but this time he's giving him some applause. Elon posting this last night. Credit where credit is due. Real Donald Trump has successfully resolved several serious conflicts around the world. Now, this post comes one day after Elon slammed the president on X because of his big, beautiful bill. Elon believes the bill will raise national debt and warned that if the big, beautiful bill passes, he will start a new party, the America Party. But this hasn't set well with MAGA, many responding that there is already a new party and that it is MAGA. In other news, not political related, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs is back in the headlines today after months of legal drama and public scrutiny. A jury has now reached a decision. The hip hop icon has been cleared on the most harsh charge of RICO, found not guilty of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. He was, however, found guilty on two much lesser charges. That's transportation to engage in prostitution. The verdict comes after weeks of testimony, video evidence, and explosive witness accounts that drew national attention. Combs has long denied the allegations. Prosecutors argued that Combs used his influence and his wealth to sexually abuse women against their will, while his defense painted the accusations as a calculated attack on his reputation. The 2 charges he was found guilty on may carry a 20-year sentence. If he would have been found guilty on all charges, he could have faced up to life in prison. Diddy was heard in the courtroom saying thank God after the verdicts were read. His family was there. They've been there the entire trial. Today they were hugging and embracing each other. Well, those are your top stories for today. When we come back, a big rally for America tomorrow. Details on President Trump's kickoff rally to celebrate our country's 250th birthday. We'll be right back.
The last time President Trump was in office, gold soared 50% and silver went up a huge 53%. Americans who invested in silver and gold during Donald Trump's first presidency are very happy that they did it. And right now, gold continues to soar to the highest numbers in history. These gains are just an appetizer for what's to come. Some market analysis are saying that gold is predicted to rise another 30% in the next year alone. So now's the time to invest in gold and silver, and that's why I partnered with Fisher Liberty Gold. Fisher Liberty Gold is a conservative-owned and operated precious metals investment company. They even helped my good friend President Trump get elected through their contributions to Turning Point USA and other conservative groups. I have dedicated my life to ensuring that people get the best sleep ever, and in addition to owning a MyPillow, I can now sleep well at night knowing that you can all protect your savings with precious metals with Fisher Liberty Gold. With Fisher Liberty Gold, you can sleep well knowing that your retirement is secure. And if you call now, you're going to receive your very own presidential gold guide and qualify for up to $20,000 in free silver. But wait, there's more. Call now or text metals to 26786 to receive your presidential gold guide from Fisher Liberty. And for a limited time, I will send you a free MyPillow for qualified accounts. This presidential gold guide from Fisher Liberty will tell you exactly why you need to own gold even while Donald Trump is president. And just by calling in, you get a free MyPillow for a limited time for qualified accounts and up to $20,000 in free silver. So don't wait. Call 1-888-4GOLD-19 or text metals to 26786 today. That's 1-888-4GOLD-19 or text metals to 26786 today to receive your free MyPillow and up to $20,000 in free silver.
It's going to be a big, exciting day tomorrow. President Trump will be heading to Des Moines, Iowa for a huge rally. He'll be kicking off a series of events to celebrate America's 250th birthday. The MAGA stars will be there as well, including Lee Greenwood. You can join us on the Mike Lindell Show. In half an hour today, Lee Greenwood will be joining us before he takes the stage tomorrow night in Des Moines. He'll be on the Mike Lindell Show coming up at the top of the hour, so make sure you are joining us then. Today's Bible verse for the day comes from the book of Corinthians. It says this: "Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty." That is Corinthians 2, verse 13, or verse 3, that is 17. As a reminder, as we close out the show, support Mike Lindell and all his efforts. You can go to mypillowtrial.com. Mypillowtrial.com. As you know, Mike won big in his trial in Colorado, but there was part that he still needs to work on. So there will be an appeals process. He is fighting for election integrity, and he needs your help. He has been from coast to coast, from the north to the south to the east to the west, fighting for our elections to be safe and secure. And he's given all he has, as you know. And so now he needs your help in the fight. Help defeat the deep state with Mike Lindell. You can go to mypillowtrial.com. Donate right now. We have seen people donate $1, $5, all the way up to $1,000. We thank you all for donating. Please continue to do so. You can see right there, there are buttons you can push with dollar amounts, and it's easy to do. So help support Mike and all of his endeavors. In fact, he's meeting with the president right now as we speak at the White House. He'll be joining us at the top of the hour on the Mike Lindell Show to talk about that meeting, but he is there as we speak. You can also go to mypillow.com. MyPillow.com, always great sales going on right there. They have the slippers that are a fan favorite, all the bedding, all the towels, you name it. MyPillow.com. Big mega sale going on right now. The My Cross, the energy drinks, as you see, the sheets, and more. To save extra, you can type in the promo code Vanessa and shop away. Big savings right there on mypillow.com. There's also a link on mypillow.com that it will take you to mystore.com. A lot of conservative businesses and entrepreneurs are there with their companies. Mike Lindell has handpicked these companies with the best products to be on mystore.com, so make sure you support them as well. There is a link to My Store. It'll take you right there. Also, same promo code Vanessa, and it'll get you some extra savings. We're now on YouTube. You can go to Lindell TV on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. If you miss an episode, you can always go back there to watch. Of course, we're on X. Vocal has a huge new experience as of today. If you're on Mike Lindell's app, Vocal, VOCL, you can see all of the new features that just launched today, so make sure you check that out. And that'll do it for us here on Spin Room. Thanks so much for joining us. Again, join us at the top of the hour. Mike Lindell will be here and Lee Greenwood. Can't wait to talk about tomorrow's big rally and a new Bible that Lee Greenwood has just launched. We'll talk about that coming up in about 30 minutes. We'll see you then.
Whether it's being a weekend warrior or spending time with your family, feeling your best is the key to doing the things you love. That's why I'm excited to tell you about Nirvanta. It's a natural solution designed to help you stay active and live well naturally. Nirvanta is a topical blend of all natural essential oils like frankincense, myrrh, and a proprietary gold standard plant stock extract. It's perfect for your hands, feet, knees, back, or anywhere else that needs a little extra care. Use Nirvanta proactively as part of your daily maintenance routine, and you're guaranteed you're going to feel the difference. Simply massage Nirvanta in for at least 60 seconds, 2 to 3 times a day to get the best results. And if you're not completely satisfied, you get your money back. No questions asked. There's simply no risk and no reason not to try Nirvanta today. Right now, you get 15% off with code Lindell exclusively at nirvantahealth.com. So stop reaching out for that medicine cabinet. Get Nirvanta instead and experience the difference. Go to nirvantahealth.com. Use code Lindell to get 15% off today. Nirvanta Health. Live well naturally. With everybody talking about making America healthy again, I thought today'd be a great day to talk to all my fellow patriots about the importance of making your homes healthy again. Well, we have proudly partnered with airwaterhealing.com and their revolutionary whole home air purification system. The V3 from Air Water Healing does 3,000 square feet of purification. It eliminates dust, mold, viruses, and odors. But here's the part I love. They require no filters to ever be changed and virtually no maintenance. Whether you suffer from asthma, allergies, seasonal bronchitis, or just want to protect your family from the flu or even greater threats, don't wait to get your V3 from airwaterhealing.com today. Use code Lindell for 20% off in savings and free shipping. That's promo code Lindell at airwaterhealing.com.